Let's talk about canker sores.
All right, let's just get right into it, I guess.
I hate canker sores, man. I have a canker sore on the bottom of my tongue. It even affects talking a little bit. It just bothers me. And I still don't know because I've had canker sores my entire life. I haven't been able to pinpoint why they happen. I liken it, I think it's just stress. It has to be stress because it seems like every time they happen, it's some sort of stressful situation. Or it's just like me biting the side of my mouth or something. And then it exacerbates from there.
Yeah, stress can certainly be a cause of them.
Do you often get them or no?
I don't often get them, no.
But you get them sometimes?
Yeah, I think everybody probably does.
Yeah. But man, they're such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they're not fun. I think just in general because it's an area that, you don't often have things like that happen, first of all, but also you use your mouth a lot. So, if you get sore on your arm or something like that, like you can generally,
Cut your arm off, you know? Jeez.
you can generally keep it safe, but your mouth, you're always dealing with food or sometimes even just the flow of air can aggravate it or, the moving of your mouth muscles and all that. So, yeah, it's a pain in the neck, really.
I gotta do what Homer did in the chili episode where he covers his mouth with wax so that he's able to ingest the chilies, the hot chilies.
Probably not a good thing, but
But
a
hey,
lot more issues than,
how could it get worse?
well, it definitely can get worse than a canker sore.
Yeah, but then you got, it's something unique, something you haven't encountered before, as opposed to just this typical old canker sore.
Yeah, new is not always better. Well, hopefully your canker sore gets better soon.
Oh yeah, no worries. I just thought, you know what? Hey, it's a podcast topic. Everybody loves to hear about other people's canker sores.
Yeah, we're not getting much out of this one.
What? Ah, come on. We can keep talking about it. We can keep. What's the history of canker sores? Who was the first person to get a canker sore, do you think?
No,
How did it even manifest in humans? Some guy just wakes up, God damn it, what is this thing? Oh, and then goes around and shows it to all the other cave people. And then they probably kill him because they're like, what is this? We can't have this. They kill him, but then it ends up that it's not contagious, so other people get it, and then it just gradually is accepted in society. And then they mourn the loss of that first victim of a canker
I don't
sore.
think there's any historical evidence that humans killed each other because they were afraid of contagion.
Really? Oh, I thought that was a thing. I thought they would shoot people who were sick.
No, that's just zombie movies.
Oh, but I thought they were inspired by real life
Well,
zombie movies. Aren't they based on true stories?
everything's inspired by real life in some way, shape, or form. I think we have a history of a little more value of human life than to put somebody down before, especially if you don't know if it's contagious or not. That's the other thing. So, no, don't think they're killing cavemen. But, cavemen were uncultured.
I wonder what it would be like in those days. I probably wouldn't want to live in those days, though. It seems like a big hassle.
I don't think anybody would want to live in the caveman days.
No? Okay. I don't know. There's probably some survivalists out there who are like dying to get back to the
Well,
roots of
they can just
humanity.
go out they can just go out there. But in general, I don't know why anybody would want to subject themselves to that specific time period. Have to live in a cave, at least even if you're going
And
to do
you could
survival.
invent a lot of stuff, though. You could invent the wheel.
That's true.
You can't say you can do that nowadays. You can't really invent anything these days. But back then, man, you had pick of the litter for inventing stuff.
You can invent things.
Nowadays, I don't know.
I just saw this invention, actually I actually saw two new things this week that I found quite interesting. So one was this big magnetic pad. It was I don't remember what it was made out of.
Magnets?
Well, no, it was covered in something though, something specific. And you could stop a high pressure leak with it. And apparently it's very effective.
So a high pressure leak on a pipe that's or a surface that's metal, presumably, if it's made of magnets or magnetic. So is it like the magnet version of flex tape?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a magnetic urethane sheet.
Did you end up having to stop a leak? Is that why you saw it? You had
No,
a
I
high
just
pressure
saw a video.
situation?
I just saw a video of it. It's designed to stop up to 30 psi. I don't actually know how high that is. It doesn't seem that high, but I don't know. The videos made it look pretty high.
What would the equivalent be? Let me think, like psi analogy. I just want to see what 30 psi really means. Is imagining a 1 pound weight resting on 1/30th of a square inch area. That's the AI overview from Google. That's great. That's wonderful.
Well, I still don't know how to envision that.
Look at this other gold nugget that they provide. Alternatively, consider it as 150 pounds distributed evenly across a 5 square inch area. Oh my God. And then the last little tidbit, this is even better. Another helpful comparison is to think of tires as springs, where higher PSI, like 30 PSI, creates a stiffer, more responsive ride, while a lower PSI below 20 PSI is like having a completely flat tire. That's not helpful.
Yeah, it's really not helpful. I don't know.
I guess it's like a tire.
Anyway, so
it's a tire. It's tire pressure, you could say.
Well, yeah, but I still don't know exactly how to translate that.
If you were to blow a hole in your tire, you could cover it with this urethane tape, and you'd be safe.
Anyways, it's supposed to seal cool, non-pressured storage vessels roughly 70 feet high. I guess this is what it's made for. Apparently, this is a big issue. I don't know. On ships, I guess. I don't know how big of an issue it is, but
Lots of leaks there, eh? On ships.
well, I don't know if it's so much to say lots of leaks, but if it happens and you're out
High pressure
in the,
leaks. Yeah.
you're out in the ocean or something, you're not near a port or something. You need to be able to get it sealed up quickly.
Yeah. Or you die.
PSI of an unpressurized, and this doesn't help either. The PSI of an unpressurized vessel containing water will be approximately 1 PSI for every 28 inches of liquid above the leak point.
Uh-huh. Clear as mud.
But I think it paints somewhat of a better picture because, so 1 PSI is created for every 2 feet above a leak point. It pretty much means, like, it's not designed for, fire hydrants or something like that.
Or submarines. It's not for submarines, probably.
Or submarines. But it just kind of means that, you can deal with the issue without having to, drain a tank because 30 PSI is, 60 feet of liquid above, or 60 feet of water anyways, above the leak point. So kind of means it can cover up quite a bit on any vessel.
Look at you with your conversions from imperial units. It's fascinating. You know your imperial.
What, inches to feet?
Yeah, man, I don't know how many are in what.
12 inches in a foot? That's not that hard.
Really? 12 inches in a foot? Wow.
So the other invention is some sort of a grappler device that goes on the front of a cop car. And what it does is, instead of having to do a pit maneuver or something else that's dangerous in a high-speed chase, they just have to get close to the car and then deploy this thing. And it wraps around the rear axle. It's got a huge amount of resistance on it, so works great for a lot of cars. And you can just kind of slowly stop the car safely.
Wow, that's impressive. How does it get under there? How does it wrap around the axle?
2 poles lower from the bumper when the officer presses a button. They have that rope between them. Officer goes and puts the poles on either side of the rear wheel of the car in front. That gets the ropes tangled around the wheel. So pretty much it just naturally tangles around the wheel.
So it's like a bungee cord that wraps around the wheels, the rear wheels. But how does it get the poles on either side? Is it like
you have to get really close to you have to get to pretty much bumper range of the car.
Isn't that also quite dangerous?
Yes, of course, but then once you do it, you can back off. The only other way to stop a car is a crash or a pit stop, which is just a crash.
They should just use gum, just a huge batch of chewing gum. Just cover the car.
Well, until that idea comes to fruition, this was...
Well, you should invent that. Everybody would love you for it.
This was the newishly invented grappler device that some police use now.
I still wouldn't call it a grappler. Grappler makes me think of Batman. This is not Batman.
It shoots a line now that tangles around a car. That's a grappler. It literally grapples the car.
Yeah, but you don't hold on to it. It's the thing that slows it down.
Well, no, because it tethers between the police car
and the normal car. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it is a grappler.
So
I thought it was like you let it go.
So the slowdown is pretty much at the, and they're on the bigger, SUV police cars, not like the little, squad cars. So it controls the slowdown. It doesn't naturally slow down necessarily, but now the cop is in control of
the situation. Yeah.
So the cop slowly slows down, which causes the car in front. You can't use it on big cars, apparently.
You wouldn't want to use it on a tank.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, you wouldn't want to use it on a tank, but there's not a lot of civilians out there stealing tanks.
Yeah, this isn't GTA. And you said that they only have them on the SUVs, so the horses don't have this capability.
I don't think the horses have this capability.
Damn, those horses, they're getting stiffed. Honestly, the police horses, I think they're a dying breed.
And to say how like strong it is in the video I saw, the car kept trying to get away from the officer once it had slowed down, and there was a point where it just tore the rear axle right off the car.
Damn. But then it could go. If it has front wheel drive, it just zooms away.
Yeah, with a lot of parts, including the gas tank dragging on the ground.
Yeah, but you can still manage.
You're not going to manage. The car's going to explode.
Oh, it's not. Cars don't explode. Are you kidding me? What is this? A Tesla?
Teslas don't explode. They just
catch on fire.
Can explode. They catch on fire.
Yeah, if you tear a battery in two, I think your car's gonna explode.
So will these cars. If you drag your gas tank on the ground, creating sparks every inch of the way, the gas tank all the way up to the engine is going to explode.
I don't believe it. I think the car would just continue going forward and the person would get away. That's the trick, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get away from this police grappler, you just have to wait until the rear axle gets torn off and then you just zoom away, but have a front wheel drive car.
This is the educational portion of the podcast that apparently our stream is labeled under.
Religion and education, yes.
Is it actually under religion?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You talk about it often enough. I thought let's add it.
We haven't talked about
religion. We talked about Fatima. We can talk about religion. What's new in religion these days?
There's nothing.
I'll see. We're being consistent then.
It's true. So there you go. So things do get invented. I just think they're not
as eye-catching as the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, you only go so far into things that just generally help everybody. But there's always stuff being invented that, helps specific things.
Is there something in your life that you think would be awesome if it existed? Whether in your life or for your work or just something you've noticed?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
I'm not saying you have to invent it. I just mean a problem that you feel like, man, if there was an invention that could solve this.
I want an AI that can, very, very, very well, like imperceptibly, mimic my voice and, thinking patterns so that it can replace me on this podcast.
Who's to say you're not already the AI? Maybe you just don't realize it. It's a scary thought. What if you end up realizing someday that you are that AI that Dustin wanted to replace the original Dustin?
So where's the original Dustin?
Hey, he's probably lounging it up in his on his yacht filled with police horses.
I wish I had a yacht.
I don't think I would want a yacht.
Why? Yeah, but you don't like the water.
Because I like the water, but I wouldn't want a yacht because I think you would always be in competition with people like Jeff Bezos. Where it's like...
No, it's not like if a yacht sees another yacht, they must battle to the death.
I thought it was like that. Isn't that how he gets his yachts? He takes over other people.
It's gross.
That's how It's like that game. You ever played this game where you're a fish, you're a tiny fish, and then you have to eat smaller fish, but then you grow slightly and you eat slightly bigger fish and then bigger ones, and eventually you become so big you end up ingesting the whole ocean? That's what I think of when I think of Jeff Bezos and his yacht.
It might work that way.
Exactly. We don't know what billionaires do. They might have mutated their yachts to do that. I don't know anybody who owns a yacht, and I think yachts are probably sentient creatures.
I don't
They're
think
not like sailboats or anything like that. No, they're different. Why are they called yachts? It's because it's not a boat. It's a creature of some sort.
No, don't think that's it. But I would own a yacht. What the hell? Why not?
How big would your yacht be? Would you want to be like big enough to have a country dismantle their bridge to let you through?
No, that says more about the yacht creation and I guess the country than it does anything else. Like, why wouldn't you build why wouldn't your construction place be somewhere that's accessible without tearing apart infrastructure?
Maybe that was the best place for the yacht, and they just wanted bigger and bigger every time.
Yeah, maybe it's how it started and then it spiraled, but...
Exactly, it spiraled out
Still,
of
you
control.
can move. Just because you were building small little boats 100 years ago, and then all of a sudden people want big yachts, then you would think they would go like, oh, let's just move.
Okay, but serious question, though. How big would your yacht be?
Not too big. Some of those yachts are crazy, and they're like friggin' mansions, with like 100 rooms and, cruise ships. I don't want a yacht that's a cruise ship. So I think the dividing characteristics of a yacht is like that they do have livable space, whereas boats really don't. So I would think just modest, a bedroom.
You would just want one bedroom? I'd want a couple bedrooms.
Maybe a couple bedrooms, maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms at most.
Maybe 10.
And
10 bathrooms. I would want a bathroom per bedroom.
No.
You want
Now you're like Jeff Bezos.
No, come on. He would have like 1,000.
He's on a much higher scale, but still,
he would have
you're
1,000
a little bit,
bathrooms, and he would use a different one each day of the decade.
But 10 is too much. I would say like 2 or 3 bedrooms. Enough for me and a guest or two if you're having parties. Because if you have a yacht, you're gonna have parties.
Here's the deal. If you remember Phasmo, you have Phasmo, and you have that one house that had like 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms.
Yeah, they all had.
And they all had a bathroom. Which of the houses from Phasmo would you want your yacht to be most like?
No, I don't want to. It doesn't. Not every room needs a bathroom. But I guess if you only have like 2 or 3 bedrooms, I mean, I guess you could. But
yeah, then you're part of the problem.
I don't think you really need it. And then you want like a place to go inside to entertain yourself, I would think. Because, if you're out on a yacht and the weather gets crappy, you want somewhere that you can ride it out.
So you want a living room. You want a living room in your yacht.
Yeah, living room or
a kitchen, you said, living room.
Entertainment room.
Do you want a den as well?
I think that's it. No, I think that's it.
Rec room? What's the difference between a den and a rec room and a living room?
Well, no, I think just the rec room.
What about a basement? Do you think like a yacht should have a basement?
Basement in the yacht? That's just
an unfinished basement. Kind of like, an unfinished basement. I think that's a wise addition. And then you could furnish it up a little bit. Put a ping pong table down there. Oh, man. Can you imagine playing ping pong on the water?
Well, you could do it.
Oh, man. That would be a nice new Olympic sport. Very compact as well. You could do it, yeah. Not golf, though. I don't think you could play golf on a yacht. Maybe mini putt. You could have a mini putt course on a yacht.
You could have a mini putt course. That's true.
That'd be pretty fantastic. Bowling alley, yeah, exactly. No gutters. It's got to have those gutter guards because otherwise, it's like, man, it's a pain in the ass.
Oh no, you gotta play. You gotta play with the gutters. Got to increase the challenge.
I guess for those 300 game bowlers, this is the next challenge.
That's right. Can you do it on a boat?
All those performance enhancing drugs aren't going to save you there.
Nope. So yeah, I wouldn't want it too big. I wouldn't want like a yacht that a lot of those big yachts have like small things coming out of them.
Small things? What do you mean?
Well, they have like smaller boats or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Coming in,
you wouldn't want them to be giving birth to anything.
Well, now I'm just thinking about it though, but I think I would want it to have like a sea-doo or something.
You got to have a sea-doo. You got to have something to use as an escape device when you're overtaken by Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You'll never catch me, Bezos.
Escape on your little sea-doo while Jeff Bezos' yacht absorbs yours. But just one, so it takes all the other people on the yacht. Only I get to escape. Everybody else becomes part of.
So you're doing
yacht.
The opposite of what the saying is usually, that the captain goes down with the ship. You're doing the complete opposite. The captain is the only one that doesn't go down with the ship.
Thing is, I wouldn't be the captain though.
You would have a parakeet that you would name the captain officially, and you yourself wouldn't be part of the hierarchy.
No. I wouldn't be the captain. Like, I'd make sure there was somebody else to drive the boat.
Well, you can be the captain without driving the boat.
Can you? I don't think.
Yeah, you could be the captain in name. You don't actually know how to do anything on the ship, but you can say that you're the captain.
Nah, that's okay, because then I got to go down with the boat. So
assistant to the captain.
I don't need to do that either. I'm out on. If I'm out on a yacht, I'm there to enjoy myself, not to worry about being somebody's assistant or dealing with driving the boat or something like that.
So you don't really want that title. You don't have that sense of pride or vanity.
I mean, I own the yacht. Like that's more prestigious.
You won't own it when
captain.
Jeff Bezos swallows it whole.
Well, that's a different issue, though. If you just stay away from wherever Jeff Bezos is.
It's like some area of the ocean where you have to watch out. Like, oh man, it's a good game idea too. Now, if you think about it,
no, it's not.
It's like that fish game, but with yachts instead. And the Jeff Bezos is the ultimate yacht, and you have to keep avoiding him. It's like that. It's kind of like that Jaws game, right, from the Nintendo days.
There's an itch.io game that's like blobs, like you just be circles.
Yeah,
and it's a multiplayer game, and you go around and absorb each other and avoid the bigger ones. That's pretty much exactly what you're describing, just as circles instead of boats.
Yeah, but I want it to be yachts. And I would want it to be, I think, I'm picturing an isometric view where you can actually like sail around the ocean, not just this 2D representation, abstract representation of the ocean.
Well, get on it.
Just fascinating. All these ideas that come to my mind about yachts eating other yachts and Jeff Bezos laughing maniacally in the distance.
Then you could be sued by Jeff Bezos.
Why would he? This is advertising for Amazon.
Oh, there you go. Go talk to Jeff Bezos.
I'll try to get it published by Amazon, right? They have the gaming scene that they created, right? They're a publisher
Yeah,
for
exactly.
half a game.
I mean, they made that War of the Worlds movie that's just a giant Amazon ad. Why can't they just have
Wait, oh, they made it
oh, they produced
with
it.
Ice Cube? Oh, very nice.
So, they can do the same for the game. Just slap a bunch of Amazon Prime ads on there and
Hell yeah, I'll do that. I'll sell out to Amazon. Get that yacht money.
maybe you can go out on Jeff Bezos' yacht.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, he's going to steal mine. He's going to swallow it whole.
He'll invite you out there. He'll show you what it's all about.
Yacht it up. That's interesting, though, yeah. 2 bedrooms, a living room, a sea-doo, a kitchen. Scary stuff. You just keep one-upping yourself. Next time we talk, you're going to have like 15 bedrooms.
So, like, I'm just thinking, like, in the case of Bezos' super yacht, like, how many of those rooms actually get used? There's probably a very good percentage of the rooms on his yacht that may have never been used.
You could set a horror game on the yacht where it's like those back room, right? What is it called? Back room? You could absolutely set a game like that, and it's a horror game where he chases you through the rooms that he's never been in.
There you go. There's another idea.
It's just ideas up the wazoo.
I wouldn't want that. I don't want all that empty space and waste. And
I would be scared, honestly.
I would want something that I can go out on by myself without feeling isolated. Because I feel like if you're in something that big, like, there's got to be like a sense of like loneliness,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, just even like thinking like a mansion or a big house or something like that. There's got to be that sense of loneliness if you're not using most of it, right? But at the same time, I want to be able to at least host something with my friends. So it needs to be just big enough for a few people, but not too big so that it feels lonely and empty when it's just me.
Maybe this is why those high society types, they always have as many parties as they can because they just have that crippling sense of loneliness when they don't have a party going on.
More money, more problems. That's what it is. So why don't you tell us about your run-in with Marcel the Shell with shoes on?
Oh yeah, what I posted? It's just because I watch a channel called Vsauce on YouTube. And it's been around for a long time, and I just rewatch those episodes sometimes. He has the same thought process that I do sometimes, where he just goes on tangents. This episode was about Comic Sans, and somehow he gets into the uncanny valley. So there you go.
I see.
That's the kind of stuff that he does. But the point is that having rewatched it again recently, I see he switches scenes, and suddenly, boom, he shows that graphic, and I see Marcel the Shell with shoes on. I'm like, whoa, I know this character. Because before I wouldn't have batted an eye. I thought it was something from Japan probably. But yeah, this time I actually got it.
That's good. I wonder why they didn't make more content with Marcel the Shell.
Like more shorts on YouTube,
Yeah.
more videos.
Just seems like they made that full movie. When did they make that? When was that movie from?
2021, I think.
Yeah, it's not too old, but especially if you're talking about shorts. Like, why didn't they make more shorts?
Maybe they got the money and they wanted to stop.
Yeah, they got the money and ran. We're millionaires now. We don't have to work ever again.
They're yacht owners now.
Yep, they got yacht money. In this day and age, we take a franchise and we drive it into the ground.
Well, yeah, but also just in my opinion, you could make it's a gold mine, right? Marcel is a cute character. The potential is limitless, right? You can just do whatever day-to-day stuff and it still will be whimsical and quirky and fun to watch. I guess, I don't know, maybe the cost of making it was higher than any sort of revenue that you would get.
Yeah.
Which again, maybe back then, but now probably would be easier, better.
Yeah. You
Put it
do a
on
lot more with
TikTok
the
and
computer
stuff.
instead of, yeah. I don't know how they made it, but I would imagine there was a lot of work involved.
Was the person who did the voices in the shorts the same as the one who did the voices in the movie? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could think of is that she's kind of not a big actress, but not a small one either.
So she got busy. Didn't want to do the shorts anymore.
Yeah. Maybe she's the one who's moved on.
You're right, though. I think they could have continued.
She was an SNL cast member. That was before that, though. Parks and Recreation, Bob's Burgers. I mean, she was big even when she did Marcel.
Maybe she was taking more roles back then, more variety, and so she was using the shotgun approach to like see what sticks, and other things were probably more enticing financially.
Yeah.
Maybe she just didn't understand what Marcel was and didn't want to continue in this weird existential state. I still don't know what Marcel is. And I was editing the podcast. I was hearing you talk about you don't know what the hell Marcel is.
Yeah, I don't know what Marcel is. You just go with it. Oh, well, at least you're seeing him out in the wild. That's the important thing. He's still getting out there. So, yeah, I finished the King of the Hill season.
Oh yeah, all 10 episodes.
All 10 whopping, huge, massive. Like, it took so long with those 25-minute episodes. It was a very good season. It was a very good season. Probably some of the top content from King of the Hill.
Wow, that's high praise.
So I wanted to revisit that on the back of, they brought some more characters back in. So in the first half of the season, they didn't have a lot. They brought the main cast in, Hank, Dale, Bill, Boomhauer, Peggy, Bobby, Joe, Connie, Min, and the Super News and Phones, because why not? But the second part of the season, they brought more characters in. John Redcorn had a few more roles. Be interesting to see what they do with him in the next season, because his voice actor is dead, right?
Did he die after doing the first season?
Yes, he just died like a few months ago. He got murdered.
Oh, you talked about this. That's right.
Yeah, got his house burned down, his dog killed, and then him and his wife were killed. Was it him and his wife or just him? I don't remember. But yeah, very unfortunate circumstance in his case. But he was able to do John Redcorn in the first season, which is good. I will say, so I learned, last time I was complaining about the Dale Gribble voice and how I thought the new voice actor was not very good. And then I learned that all the bad Dale Gribble acting that I didn't like was actually done by the original actor.
Wow.
So I guess I don't know what the circumstances surrounding his death were, but I guess he was sick when he was avoiding those. Although I thought he died I'm actually going to look it up. I thought he died suddenly.
Maybe people didn't like his voice acting in the first season. That's why they killed him.
Well, no, I don't think that's...
No, like people who saw the season before it was released to the public.
Well, he died in 2023. He died well before the season was even done.
But how did he do the voices then?
Well, he did do the voices, but it was weird, though, because for years, Johnny Hardwick actually did a YouTube video where, actually almost right up to his death, because he was still doing them. Last video he did was, it just says, there it is, April 11, 2022. So it was a little bit before he died. But he was doing the Dale voice on his YouTube videos pretty well. Like, they were good voice acting. So I don't know. And yeah, his death was sudden. He was just found in the bathtub.
With a toaster?
On a welfare check.
On a welfare check? What do you mean?
Well, it was well after he had died.
Oh, okay. I thought you mean like a check from the welfare office. And I was just like, why would he be in a bathtub on top of a check?
No. So I don't know what the circumstances around his death were, or if he was sick or whatnot before, but he did not do a good job at the voice acting. The guy who replaced him, actually, so apparently of the first 7 episodes, he was able to voice most of the lines for, and then any of the reshoots they had to do or whatever, the new guy did, who was the voice actor who did like Cotton and all that.
Right, yeah.
And then from 8, 9, and 10, the last 3 episodes, it was just the new actor.
So it all worked out for you.
The new actor sounds just like Dale. So it did work out. All the bad stuff was from the original actor. Which
so
is
you must be
to say,
but you must be happy about it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm content that at least we got the proper Dale voice. Yeah, I mean that is true. That is true. Though I imagine if the guy wasn't going to die, he probably would have done a better job. There was probably some surrounding circumstance around that. Now here's the problem though. In one of the episodes, they did Khan, right?
Who did?
They had an episode that had Khan in it.
Oh, okay, just one. Okay.
Yeah, it was just one actually. And so the guy who voiced Khan originally was his name's Toby Huss, and that's the one that voiced Cotton and the new voice of Dale. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Well, just like what happened with Dr. Hibbard, can't have a white guy voicing a Asian guy, so they recast him. And so the guy they recast him with, I don't know if you know him or not, but it's Ronnie Chang, who is or was a correspondent on The Daily Show. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a pretty funny guy, honestly.
No, I don't know him.
Okay. But he's Malaysian American. And so he's the new voice of Khan.
Khan is Malaysian?
No, but I guess
Close enough.
Close enough, I guess.
Yeah, let's not whitewash these voices, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Pick somebody from some Asian country over there.
Exactly. As much as I do like Ronnie Chang. I think he's funny. Terrible choice for Khan.
Well, at least it was only one episode.
At least it was only one episode, but it was a terrible, terrible, terrible choice for Khan. Like, he just, not only does he not sound like him, but he just doesn't even feel like him. At least with like Dale, he was still, the voice was crap, but at least he was still Dale.
So tell me something. This voice, Khan's new voice, is it more or less stereotypical?
Less.
It's less stereotypical. Maybe that was deliberate. Maybe he was told you can't be as obnoxiously stereotypical as it was originally.
Yeah, that could be a big part of con stuff.
Because he was like they were very stereotypical. The Supernusemphones from the original King of the Hill.
It's true.
Racist level stereotypically, if you go by today's standards.
Well, I don't know. Was he though? Because he wasn't like that.
No, I mean it was still like subdued compared to other shows, but I'm just saying like you could tell it was like exaggerated, which is fine. I don't care, but I think maybe nowadays they're like, oh.
But now that being said, like, so Min is still voiced by the same voice actress.
But did she tone her voice down as well or no?
Well, this is what I was just about to say. Min didn't change at all.
Oh, okay. So they're sexist too.
There you go.
Not only are the new producers racist because they chose a Malaysian person to voice whatever culture Khan is, but they also made it so that the voice actress who did Min didn't change. So they're sexist too.
So I don't know what the deal was when they decided to redo Khan, but I'm glad they just relegated him to one episode, and then hopefully, actually the episode was rather heavy, so I'm not entirely sure if or how much we'll see Khan in the future.
Damn, well, it's a bit of a spoiler. He's gonna die.
The way they did the episode, no, he doesn't die.
You're gonna find him on a welfare check in the bathtub.
No.
He's getting a divorce from Min probably. He's gonna run off.
That's what it was.
Damn. And then he's gonna kill himself in the bathtub on a welfare check.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
With a toaster.
There you go. But yeah, so Khan was in it. They did a little stuff with Good Hank. Good Hank was in it. So was Dee Dee, which she did fine. And Good Hank was just a baby before, so he's now grown. You get to see a little bit of.
Oh, he's actually an adult now.
He's a teenager.
I thought they would have made it so that it's like Maggie from The Simpsons, where he's just perpetually a baby.
Yeah, I don't think King of the Hill does stuff like that.
That would be funny though.
So there's some bonding. Oh, Junichiro was in it, so that was good.
Who's that again?
Hank's half brother.
Oh,
I don't know if you got
okay, yeah.
That.
I did. That was a good one.
So he was in it momentarily. But all the other characters, they didn't do anything with Luann or Lucky. They might, but I don't think they will, because both of those actors are dead. So
yeah, but I mean, what about Dale? Right? They could replace the voices.
Yeah, but you can just, that's why I say, like, I'm not sure that they're not going to bring them back, but I feel like if they were going to bring them back, they would have done it in this season. And they didn't. It's easy enough to say, oh, they've moved on and nothing to be done. They
cut ties with Arland.
They moved away and, just don't see them around anymore. Would be good to have them back. They were pretty central towards the back end of the original run, but they might just not want to try recasting them. I feel bad for the King of the Hill people because they've just had so many. I have not seen, like, you think about Simpsons, which has been around forever. You think about, Futurama, which has been around a long time, Family Guy, all that stuff. Like, almost especially the main cast, nobody has died. But then you got King of the Hill, and they're up to 4 now.
Out of how many? We got to keep a tally now.
Yeah, well, not that many. King of the Hill, I don't think. I guess in main cast terms, everybody had kind of their own stuff. But you have the guy who did Hank, Peggy. I don't know all the voice actors. Like, I don't know who crosses over in the.
But you probably have like 8, right? So half the cast is dead.
A good chunk of the cast is dead.
Damn, that's crazy. Good thing they didn't wait longer.
I know, but then you had them dying during the, Dale died during filming or during voicing, and
so it's cursed.
John Redcorn died right after. King of the Hill is cursed, yeah. But I mean, this points also to how long it took to actually make the friggin' episodes. So it goes back to everything I hate about streaming. Like Johnny Hardwick was able to voice the first 7 episodes, most of the first 7 episodes of the show. Johnny Hardwick died in August of 23. It took him 2 years to finish the production on 3 episodes and then just tie everything else up.
They wanted it to be perfect. They wanted it to be perfect just for you and all those ungrateful people out there on Reddit.
It's crazy that it took 2 years. Like, the streaming model is just so bonkers.
Maybe it's better for the people who work on it, though. I don't know. I don't know how bad things were back in those days, but like, weren't they outsourcing all the animation to Asian countries?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if maybe it's better now for people, then it's okay. Take the time.
Yeah.
You want slave labor instead.
I'm just thinking, like, in what way is it better?
Well, I mean, if people aren't working themselves to the bone.
I doubt they were working themselves to the bone to get these pushed out.
You don't think so? Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how things worked back then. I don't know how they work now, but it's I don't know, maybe back then things were strict. You know, you had the people beating each
No,
other.
I think they just don't want to spend as much money on anything, you know. Fat cats want everything in their pockets instead of, you know, contributing to various places. And,
They got to get their yachts. Those fat cats with their yachts.
you know, they got to get their yachts so that Jeff Bezos can absorb them.
All waterways lead to Jeff Bezos. Maybe he's the one who observed the Titanic. Maybe that's really what happened with the Titanic.
They also like dump more money into things, but in the wrong areas, because like you'll hear they'll waste their money on, you know, I don't know how it translates to cartoons, but bigger set pieces so they look more movie like. But at the same time, they have less writers and less like they cut personnel and dump the budget into making it more movie like. So that's a big issue with a lot of these streaming things. So I guess it just takes more time to put that stuff together or make it look like that. I guess I don't know. Like I just wish they would have more like the budgets are so big, but they don't go to personnel.
They go to the yachts and the yacht club.
So I don't know. Maybe they just got to cut things down a little bit more, go back to more static set pieces, or
They should just go back to like slideshows. I wouldn't mind watching a slideshow for a cartoon. As long as the voices are very enthusiastic and upbeat, I think you could pull it off. Just the slideshow. Each scene is one frame.
there you go.
Are you saying you wouldn't watch King of the Hill if it was one slide per scene?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
I'm wondering what would happen if I did that.
situation.
Let's say I take the first episode of King of the Hill, and I separate it into the scenes, ones where it's like a scene transition, and then I take one frame from each scene, and then I keep everything else the same, but like you just have for each scene, it's just the same frame over and over again for the whole duration. But the voices and everything, all the sound and everything is the same. Everything is there. I wonder if it's watchable.
It's not. It wouldn't be. I don't understand how it would be.
I think I should
You may as
try
well
that.
not. You may as well not have it there. Like, just make it. Does it sound good as a radio show? Just close your eyes.
No, but you need some context. You can't just do that because they don't describe anything, right? So you can't have a radio show like that. So no, but that's a good idea. Thank you. I'm gonna
It's not.
make a note of that.
Not a good idea. Whatever. It's your time that you're wasting. Anyways, moving on from King of the Hill. Overall, it's worth watching. It's very good, especially if you like King of the Hill. It's worth watching. It's not one of those quick cash grabs. That
What if you don't like it though?
I mean, it's King of the Hill. So if you don't like it, you're not gonna like it. It's King of the Hill.
So you're saying that if somebody didn't like the original King of the Hill, they probably wouldn't like this continuation.
This is not gonna convince you. No,
Damn.
this is not gonna convince you.
That's scary.
Well, no, not damn. That's not. That's how it should be. That's how you know that a series. That's how you know something like this was actually well done. You don't want it to be fundamentally different so that people who didn't like the old one like the new one. You wanna bring it back so the people who like the old one like the new one. I mean, I guess there's some aspect where you want new viewers all the time, but nobody's trying to convert people that don't like it. I don't think that's anybody's goal in any type of marketing.
Except for religion.
Yeah, but they do that by force. So,
See, we got our religious discussion in.
anyways, let's talk about Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. I liked the film, but it was very long. I was watching it today. I turned it on. I'm like, man, I wonder how long this one is. Probably less than 2 hours, right? Nope. 2 hours 15.
Yeah.
And then I sat there. No, it was a good movie. It's not my favorite, I'll say right off the bat. It's one of those movies that really like made me think how depressing life can be and how it was for gay people back then. I mean, even now it's probably really difficult, but Jesus Christ, how bad it was back then.
Yeah, it was. People can't just let people be people. That's what it comes down to.
And all the problems that they had, everything came down to like they could not just be who they were out in the open. Everything would have been good. Everybody would have had a good life if society was better at the time. And even unfortunately, 20 years later, however it's been, when Jack dies.
Yep.
That bothered me. It's like, God damn it. People didn't learn anything.
They did not. So, two cowboys go up on a ranch to shepherd some sheep for summer, and they fall in love. And of course, situations of the time don't allow them to be together. So, over the course of 20 years or whatever it is, they secretly have their little trites while they live their life apart, getting wed, having kids, looking for work, and just trying to keep that to themselves, but, you know, be with each other. And one of them does it much better than the other one. And then you just kind of see the fallout from all of that. So it's a romantic
Comedy?
drama.
No, it's a drama. You're right.
It's a romantic drama. Probably one of the first, certainly the most impactful of that type, and that is, not between a guy and a girl and all that stuff. And you see them, the one's wife, finds out about it
Pretty quickly, like
pretty
immediately.
quickly. Yeah. And so you see how that eats her up. And then you also find out at the end that everybody knew about Jack.
Oh, did everybody know? I thought it was like,
So this is actually where reading the short story helps with the learning what goes on with the movie, because they imply a lot of stuff in the movie, especially I'm just going to talk about towards the end, but that they tried to kind of show. So like Lorene, when she's telling Ennis that Jack died, she starts to kind of tear up and all that. She starts to get cold. That's the movie way of, saying that she knew he was gay. So they show that, but they express that a little bit more overtly in the short story.
how do they express it overtly? Does she just say, I know you about you two?
No. The short story is told from the perspective of a narrator. So he does put something in there like that pretty much, says that she knows.
Mm-hmm. So it's Morgan Freeman saying, it was at this point that she knew.
Yeah, pretty much. And so the other part was when she was telling Ennis how he died, about the tire blowing him in his face. In the movie, they show Ennis picturing people actually killing him and it not being an accident, but people actually killed him. But they kind of leave it there. In the short story, when he goes to talk to Jack's parents, again, the narrator says, so they leave it ambiguous when he talks to Lorene. But when he goes to talk to the dad, the narrator says it's at this point that Ennis knew that Jack was killed. Again, they make it very overt that, Jack was killed because he was gay, and also that everybody knew.
It's interesting because in the movie, there's a point near the end of one of their last meetings where Ennis asks, like, how do you do it, Jack? How do you keep such a low profile? Or like, do you ever struggle with it? And like Jack says, nah, I never had any struggles.
So that was another one I wanted to point out. The dialogue was very good in this movie in that it was very close to the short story. Because I read the short story after.
Oh, you read it again?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
One of the things I kind of liked about it is that in the short story, they don't do the wedding stuff. The wedding stuff at the very end with Alma Jr. It just pretty much is actually what he does. He goes to buy a postcard of Brokeback Mountain, and then he sets up the little scene that you see at the end of the movie with the two shirts and the postcard. And then he says, Jack, I swear. And then they actually talk in the short story about how he starts to have dreams about Jack. And in some of them, he's getting beat up with the thing. And other ones, they're just eating beans by the fire. They say sometimes he wakes up with wetness on his pillow, wetness in his sheets, implying that, he has night terrors over all of this and all that. But they do kind of end where, on the same note that the movie does, where Ennis has to kind of accept what he is. And that's what the Jack, I swear is all about, is he's swearing to Jack to finally accept, the circumstances of his life. But in the short story, they end with the line, if you can't fix it, you stand it, which is exactly what he said in that scene that you referenced. How do you deal with it? He says, if you can't fix it, you stand it. So I thought that was a nice call to the ending of the short story. Overall, it was very, very well done, but I think reading the short story is definitely worth it. And that's why I like reading those things before I watch the movies, because I like to see how things have changed and from the original content. I don't always get a chance to do it, but it was nice to be able to do here, because I think there was some stuff that necessarily wasn't explained right through, and that's fine if that's the interpretive vision. But it was nice to see that. It was a good movie, I thought.
Yeah, I like the picturesque cinematography. It's really beautiful areas that they were in. Mostly Calgary, apparently. If you look at the credits at the end, lots of Calgary filming locations and so on.
Interesting. They should have just went up on Brokeback Mountain.
What do you mean?
Well, they should have went to the real Brokeback Mountain to do it.
Is that a real place? I don't even know.
Let me see.
Maybe it's in Calgary.
There is no real place called Brokeback Mountain.
Well, there we go. And it was interesting to see, again, I don't know how realistic it all is, but it was good to see that first part where the cattle herding and the shepherding, because they spent quite a bit of time on it.
They did. It was almost half the movie, just that part.
But it was nice. It was kind of like just peaceful, and it was the calm before the storm. Because the first half of the movie is like, yes, okay, this is nice and relaxing. And then, yeah, it really gets into the weeds after that.
I don't understand that whole task.
It seems very wasteful, yes. They count them before they go up, and then they go back down.
Right. So they count before they go up and they go back down. And the guy said at the end of that part, like, we didn't get the count that we wanted.
No. He
obviously
said
they lost.
they actually gained some because they had the run-in with the other people. They had to like separate the cattle.
No, but he said some of these you didn't go up with. He said some of these you didn't go up with, but also the count we wanted is not there. So it kind of implied he came back with sheep that weren't his, yes, but also that they lost a lot of sheep from the count.
They must have lost a lot then. Jeez.
And or a noticeable amount, anyways. I don't know if it was a lot, but notice I don't know what's a lot versus not a lot. So what do? They take the sheep up there to graze and fatten, I guess.
It's cheaper to just go up there than to feed them.
Except unless you lose like half of them.
They didn't know what they were doing back then. Give them a break.
Some of the sheep, I guess, just wander off. Is that?
Yeah.
And that's why the counts or the other herd steals them. And why is everybody taking them to the same spot? Like,
I want to know why they ran into those other people. Those other shepherds.
Why wouldn't you be like, oh, there's more sheep over there. Let's keep our sheep away from that, maybe.
Lest we have a problem separating them after.
Yeah. Yeah, then we gotta drag him through the mud and hope everything works out.
And then he runs into a bear. My God, that was terrible. I'm surprised he didn't get killed right then and there when the horse knocked him off. Usually when horses knock you off, it's not good.
I just don't understand that job, but I guess that's what's needed. I guess you can't keep your own pasture for that many sheep. And that's why they invented shoving them all into a small space and shoving tubes down their throats.
But that's the thing. That's why one of them said it, where Randy Quaid can't be, he's got to change how he does things. Because apparently, maybe that's not the way that you would be doing it, but maybe that's the way to save money. Again, to not have to feed them yourself.
Well, I think that's the humane way. I don't even know if it comes down to money.
I don't know. I don't think it was the humane. I mean, maybe it's humane, but
well, it absolutely was a humane way, because the way they do it now is they shove the sheep into cells where they can't even move, take a tube, and then literally shove them down their throat.
I'm not saying that. You could
still
still have a pasture that's big enough to support all of them.
Well, no, that becomes harder, because if they're going to eat, I saw a video recently of they let out a TikTok video of people who let out it wasn't even that many goats. It was 12 goats or something like that. And what they did to the landscape in just I think it was 24 hours or 48 hours or something like that. And it was wild. So I imagine if you have sheep of that many sheep, you can't even keep up with that. You need to keep them moving, because they're going to eat all the grass and whatever in a day.
Crazy stuff. They're like zombies. There should just be a movie instead of zombies, sheep. Another thing I thought about that first part of the movie, I mean, the whole movie, I kind of thought that. But man, good thing there's no such thing as smell-o-vision. It would be torture to watch the first part of the movie.
Yeah, they probably smell a lot.
The sheep and the fact that they're eating beans the whole time. Come on, what an awful way to live.
That's the cowboy way.
That's right. What's the movie that parodied it the best? Blazing Saddles? Yeah, Blazing Saddles was the go-to for parodying cowboy movies. I think it still stands the test of time.
Well, is this your King of the Hill, or are you sticking with Marcel the Shell with shoes on?
I'm happy to watch this movie because, again, I've known about it since it was released. People were like, oh, it's a great movie, blah, blah, blah. It's, again, one of those which I'm glad that we have this random movie thing, because otherwise I wouldn't have taken the time. But Marcel the Shell with shoes on is still my King of the Hill.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Well, it is, but even if Marcel the Shell would never have appeared and I had to stick with Pump Up the Volume, that would still be my King of the Hill. I still think Pump Up the Volume was better than Brokeback Mountain. For me, anyway. I know a lot of people would say differently, but... And how about for you?
No, I agree. I'm going to stick with Ride Along. This is a good movie, but it's not my kind of movie.
It's not one you're going to rewatch every few days.
I won't rewatch it.
Just to remind yourself of easier times.
I'm in the same stance as you. It's not a movie I ever would have watched if not for this.
Well, you read the short stories, so you had a bit of a connection to it, I think, more so than I did.
Yeah, well, I read this. It's not like I randomly read the short story, though. I read it for school.
Was the movie would have been out by then, right?
Oh, yeah.
This was in university, you read the short story.
Yeah, the movie was out by then.
You never had the inkling to watch the movie after that?
Nope. I don't have anything against it being about gay cowboys or anything. It's just it's a romantic drama. It's not something it could have been a guy and a girl, could have been two girls. Actually, honestly, you take Anne Hathaway and Kate Mara and gender bend Brokeback Mountain, and I'd enjoy that.
But still, with all the smells of cattle ranching, I don't know. There's some things you can't make romantic.
Actually, the funny thing is that they aged some of the characters and they didn't age some of the characters. So Kate Mara and Heath Ledger are only 4 years apart in age. So it was kind of funny watching. Kate Mara played Alma Jr. It was kind of funny watching this girl who was supposed to be like not even drinking age is hanging around the bar with her dad while the waitress is hitting on him, and the dad's supposed to be at that point probably 40 years old. And in reality, they're only 4 years apart. And then obviously, even during the wedding scene, at that point now he's pushing probably 50, and she's only in her 20s. And
Yeah, well, they did their best with the aging. They had to do it somehow, and I think they pulled it off. They gave Gyllenhaal a mustache, of course.
yep, it's true. Gay cowboys gotta have a mustache. That's
And it was funny to see how many, like, I know it's exaggerated because of the way the movie is told, but it's funny how many gay cowboys there are, how many gay people there are in those
that's
circles.
true. He came up on that Randall guy just like it was nothing, just random couple, and then all of a sudden he's hitting on him too. Yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with Right Along. Like I said, this isn't my type of movie, and again, not because of the gay. It's just I am not a romantic drama type of viewer.
Yeah, romantic drama is usually depressing. That's why I like romantic comedy, but usually it's too fake. But drama is usually just sad.
Yeah, romantic comedy, I guess, is fine because at least you get the comedy in there. But romantic drama, you're just watching people live a
Crappy life.
glorified, hyperbolic life.
But it's usually a crappy life. That's the problem with the romantic drama. It's like it starts fine and then immediately goes to zero.
Well, I mean, you end up with your trials and tribulations. That's what it's all about. Usually, I mean, this movie did not, but usually it wraps up nicely.
Does it?
Well, yeah, the guy and the girl eventually get together, and
I must have not seen enough romantic dramas. I feel like every single one I've watched has been a disaster.
oh, I don't know. I feel like those are rare. Most movies have a happy ending. The reason this didn't have a happy ending, and it still did kind of have a happy ending where he kind of starts to accept life, but most movies people want them to end on a good note. The reason this didn't is because that's not how the short story ended. Can't redo.
Well, you could. They could have like made him come back to life. He could have like summoned Jack back to life.
Then it probably would not have been as popular a movie. So, anyways, why don't you tell us what is next on our list?
All right, let's see here. Random movie generator, take me away. So the movie this time around is Watchmen,
All right.
which is a nice action flick, I guess. 2009, I think.
This is the 2009 one? Yeah, I've seen this one.
Director's Zack Snyder, everybody's favorite director.
2 hours and 3 minutes. Oh, no. 160. Oh, I was way off. 2 hours and 43 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, we're going to have a blast. We're just going up in viewing length.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's really good, apparently. I don't know. The two guys who made the website like it, and it's got decent scores.
I'm just not a big fan of Watchmen. I've read the comics and I've seen this movie. I'm not a big fan of it, but
We can pick a different one if you like.
no, we're gonna watch it.
I haven't seen it, and it was one of the ones that in my youth, I thought, oh, let's watch this, and then never.
Well, that's good.
Got to it.
Let's watch it. That's fine. I'm fine with that. All right. Well, there you go. Watchmen, comic book movie, the old style. Before actually, this was still.
What do you mean old style?
Well, I was gonna say it like before the MCU came along, but no, this is like still well within. This is like within the MCU, right? When did like Iron Man come out?
2008, maybe?
Oh yeah, 2008. So the Hulk a little bit before that. So just on the beginning of it.
Before it got too popular.
Yeah. So Watchmen, DC, but it didn't start as DC. It started as did it start? No, it started as something else. I think it started as an independent and then went to DC. It's more down to earth. It's not your Iron Man. With the exception of Dr. Manhattan, nobody has any real powers or anything of significance, really.
They're just regular people in costume.
More or less. I think there's a little bit of nuance. I'm not saying I remember everything entirely accurate, but yeah, I think for the most part they're normal people.
So we could be like the Watchmen.
And it's gritty. It's one of those superhero movies that like shows the but in a more serious way, but it's like The Boys or like Invincible, where it kind of shows the grittier, more corrupt side of super beings. All right, why don't you tell us what your word of the fortnight is?
The word of the fortnight this time around is fen. It's a noun. It's spelled F-E-N. It's not slang for fentanyl, like I originally thought. No, it means low land covered wholly or partly by water.
Oh.
And I got this word from Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or Wisp.
Oh.
Is it plural or not? I don't remember. But anyway, I started playing Ori 2.
I was going to say, is that the second one?
That is the second one, yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Now it's Ori's turn to provide us with some words. Went from Genshin. No words from Genshin.
I stopped reading Genshin. I just blindly press A every time dialogue comes up. A.
That's the way to do it. Now, for the moment everybody's been waiting for. It's time to listen to some Pokemon cries. Do 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 do. Legendary Pokemon cries from last season's tournament of things. We didn't know what they were last season. Now we're going to find out. So here we go. So here is, we're on matchup 17. It was between Pokemons 34 and 95. And here is Pokemon 34. And that belonged to Mewtwo.
That's Mewtwo. Wow.
That's Mewtwo. The first ever super ultimate Pokemon. Everybody wanted Mewtwo. He was the strong one. Raised in a lab, genetically engineered from Mew.
Until shortly after Mew came out.
Well, that's true, yeah.
He had the least amount of time as the star.
Actually, really, Mew was out right away anyways, wasn't he? He wasn't accessible. I don't know when Mew was accessible, to be honest. Everybody knew about him because even in Red and Blue, they were like, oh, here's how you get Mew. And you do the truck stuff and whatever, and it's related to Missy No and all that kind of stuff. But he wasn't actually, you couldn't get him. But yeah, Mewtwo was a clone of Mew. After all the failed clones of Mew that became Dittos, Mewtwo finally came out, and he was kind of a jerk. He lived alone. And Giovanni egged him on. Giovanni was also a bad guy. And yeah, I remember the movie with Mewtwo.
Yeah, he was pretty badass in the movie.
He was pretty badass. And they had him for the most of the movie in that suit, right?
Yeah, I dressed up as Mewtwo when I was young for Halloween.
Did you?
And it was that suit that I dressed
Mewtwo
up.
Or the suit? Oh, okay. That's
well, the suit, because I can't pull off being whatever type of creature that is. But I can certainly pretend to be by wearing the suit.
That's true. Pretty cool Pokemon. And later on, he got some mega evolutions that made him look really weird. Well, actually, one was just fine. He just got some armor plating. But one, he grew his tail got attached to his head instead of his ass. However that works.
Yeah, how does that happen? Does that mean his ass is on his head now?
Yeah, maybe.
He's got a head for an ass for a head.
That's true. So that's Mewtwo. And Mewtwo lost to number, 95, which is this guy. I kind of feel like we made the wrong choice on that one.
I don't know what to tell you.
And 95 is Manaf. Is it Manaf or Manafi?
Apparently it's Manaf according to whatever source I got it from, but it does seem like it should be Manafi. I think it was probably because I got these names from the sound effect file names, and maybe there was a typo on one of them.
So this is from Diamond and Pearl. It's a little blue fairy thing with some tinglies coming out of its head.
Little balls, yeah.
Little tingly balls, yeah. It looks like a fairly happy Pokemon.
Doesn't look legendary.
It doesn't look legendary, it's true.
And its ability is hydration, so very pedestrian.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that's very important. That's a very key.
That's probably why it's so happy, because it's hydrated, no headaches, no imbalances in the body.
Actually, this one's very weird because this Pokemon doesn't evolve to or from anything, as most of the legendaries don't. But if you breed it with a Ditto, you get what is essentially a baby.
Which does not evolve into Manafi.
Which doesn't evolve back into him. So.
Even though it looks like a Manafi would as a baby.
Yeah. I don't remember this Pokemon.
Maybe it's DLC.
Oh, wait. Hatch Egg transferred from a Pokemon Ranger game. So it's not in Diamond and Pearl. It came out during this Pokemon. I don't even know what Pokemon Ranger is. It came out from that. It's one of those Pokemon that they made up for a side game just to sell the side game.
For people who are obsessed with catching them all. So in some ways, Ash has transcended everybody by not catching most of them. He doesn't have any sort of problems of just leaving Pokemon alone. He doesn't care about 100%ing anything. He lives a happy life.
Ash is a terrible Pokemon trainer, and he's everything that's wrong with anime, just like Luffy's everything wrong that's also wrong with anime.
Japanese people love that stuff, though. They like the lazy protagonist. That's probably it.
Yeah, who are super overpowered at the end of the day somehow.
Because I think that's for them, that's the dream. As a society where
true.
people
they work so hard.
Yeah, they work to the bone. They love to see people who are lazy as hell succeed, which is weird. You'd think they'd be pissed off at people like that.
Yeah,
How dare this lazy bastard get further in life than I did? I would think that they would make anime the opposite, where it's like, I want all of them to fail. I want Luffy to lose his power or just drown or something. I don't know. Or Ash, like, get killed by Go or whatever his name was. Well, that happens, but that was my headcanon.
So Manafi only made it one round and then got knocked out in the second round. But there you go. All right, we got to do one more here still. 18. Between 50 and 79 here is 79.
Damn, that's a loud one.
He lost, and but his name is Palkia.
Palkia. It looks familiar.
Yep. So
he's on the cover.
Is a watered. Yeah, he's a cover Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl. He is the cover Pokemon of I don't know which one.
Pearl. Yeah, he looks like a pearl. He has another form which he looks like a centaur.
Yeah, robotic-esque centaur.
But he's a water dragon, not steel at all, even though you'd think he would be steel.
Yeah, he looks like a robot. Yeah. He's got a ring around his waist in his origin form.
That's a corset.
Okay, he's wearing a corset.
In both, actually. He's wearing a corset that's gray in his regular form and then
oh yeah, I guess.
turns into a life preserver corset. Wait, he doesn't have any arms. In his centaur form, he has no...
He doesn't need arms. He just has plates.
Yeah, but it's just weird. I don't know.
He shoots them out of his shoulders. Yeah.
It'd be a terrible life. Like, how would you wipe your ass? If you're in position of being one of these Pokemon...
Because you turn into the other one. You turn into the other one.
Your arms are too stubby, even in the original form. I would not want to be this creature.
Also, yeah, okay, but hold on. They're animals. Like, dogs don't wipe their ass. Cats don't wipe their ass.
Yeah, but these are legendary Pokemon. They're supposed to be clean. They're supposed to be, like, nice and tidy and everything.
That's what it is. So, along with Dialga and Giratina, they are Pokemon of myth representing space. Oh, this one represents space specifically. So, apparently that's a space Pokemon.
Well, does it represent, like, outer space or just space as in...
Space, the three-dimensional continuum containing positions and directions.
That one. Literally that one. So not even outer space.
It had a hyperlink, and that's what it led to. I don't know.
I was making a joke. I thought, okay, it's outer space, but no, it literally just represents the three dimensions of the world.
That's what it says. Yeah, because the other one is time or something like that. So
I like the first thing under biology. If you look on Bulbapedia, the first image says Palkia destroying the universe, and it's a bunch of windmills. That's just Pokemon for you.
That's how he does it. He spins his little things and they create windmills and it destroys everything. Yeah. And Palkia lost to Pokemon number 50, which is this one. And that belongs to Victini.
Mm-hmm. Also doesn't look like a legendary. It's giving the peace sign.
He's giving the peace sign. He's got a V on his head. He's like a little cat weird thing. He's from Generation 5, which is black and white. And he's also another little happy one. I like when they look happy.
When a legendary specifically looks happy?
Yeah, it's comforting. He's psychic and fire, and he's a small rabbit-like Pokemon. All right, so he's a rabbit. The legendary rabbit.
We had a legendary rabbit last time. It was a bunny.
That is true. That is true. And I was watching this week I was watching a Pokemon battling streamer who does a lot of online Pokemon battles. And they faced somebody who used the rabbit.
Oh, that's great.
And I was very happy about that.
Was it the rabbit proper, or was it the rabbit?
No, he was on the horse.
He was on the reins.
Yeah, he was on the horse. Yeah, I was gonna get the DLC so I could get him, but he's from the I thought he was from the recent generation. He's nice from the last generation.
Oh, so they just prevent you from getting it?
Yeah, you can't get it naturally in the new game.
No, I just mean like you can't buy the DLC.
Well, I don't want to go that far back because then I got to re-download everything. And
which system was it on? Was it on the Switch or on the?
It was
the
still
DS?
on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still on Switch. It was the Sword and Shield instead of. If it was in Scarlet Violet, I would have gotten the DLC and went for him. But all I can do now is hope that he's in the next Pokemon game. Anyway, so Victini is said to bring victory to the trainer it befriends. So it is a very positive Pokemon. Produces an infinite amount of energy within itself and can even share it with others by touch.
That's great. So why doesn't this solve our energy crisis?
Yeah, he can counteract Palkia with his windmills.
Well, exactly.
But also, he could just transfer his infinite amount of energy into a being that can't handle it and just explode them by touch.
It may look happy, but it is a dangerous Pokemon. It's a disaster waiting.
He can also turn invisible, so he can just go around and just blow people up and nobody will even know what's happening.
Maybe that's what spontaneous combustion is all about. It's just Victini being a dick.
Okay, here's another one. Victini is shown in the movie. Victini is shown sending visions to people and enjoying macaroons. So Victini likes macaroons.
That's great. Proper legendary Pokemon.
Yeah. Just being happy and blowing people up and eating macaroons. Macaroons in one hand and destructive energy sources in the other. And Victini went all the way to, let's see, number 50. Victini won the first round, won the second round, won the third round.
You know, the funny thing is,
won the fourth round.
We, for the longest time...
Oh, no, lost the fourth round.
We thought this was just like a Tweety bird. I remember us describing the sound effect as like Tweety bird. But no, it's not a bird.
I can see this. This is one that I could see making that sound.
It kind of is a bird in a way, though. If you cover the head, the bottom part kind of looks like a chicken.
He's psychic, so he can fly, so...
Well, infinite energy as well, so he could just generate the energy downwards.
Yep. I like Victini. I'm a fan of him. Him, her. Let's see, hold on.
Gender unknown.
Gender unknown.
It. You like it.
It's not saying there is no gender, just that it's unknown. So I feel like I'm equally valid saying him as anything else. It could be, what's the cat? Schrodinger's Victini.
Schrodinger's gender.
It's both male and female until you figure it out.
Until you pull down the pants.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of looks like maybe he has pants. He's got like a little V on his torso that maybe the bottom part can be pants.
That's the zipper.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, that was good. Well, yeah, that's it, everybody. So go out, watch Watchmen so that you can see what we're talking about and invent something new. That's your homework for the next 2 weeks. Invent something new.
And don't get eaten by Jeff Bezos' yacht.
Oh, that's right. Also, don't get absorbed. Invent something new while you're running from Jeff Bezos.